What's up? This is Brandon Donahue, and you're listening to the All Bass No Treble podcast, where we talk all things hip-hop, culture, music, lifestyle, and more. So kick back and join myself and my co-host as we feature our next special guest this week. What's up, family? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of All Bass No Treble. As usual, we appreciate it. We love the love. As always, I'm your host, Brandon Donahue. To my left today, Jesus Rangel.
Yes, sir.
Switching it up. Jordan Cozy in the building. Our special guest this week, Khanh. Thanks for hopping on, bro.
My brother Khanh.
I see the Ohio chain. Y'all really be representing every time,
I'll be
bro.
bringing all the Ohio folks in.
Yeah.
But they be the dope people, man.
I tell people all the time, it's like Ohioans are kind of like the immigrants of America.
Bro, every guest has been Ohio.
It's like I explain people. It's like when you're from Ohio, right? It's really weird because I meet other people from other cities and states, and like as soon as you're like, "Yo, you from Ohio?"
Yeah,
yeah, and they're like, "Yo, what do you do? Let me connect the dots. Let me help you out."
Like
it's
instant.
it's like a very immigrant type of mindset where like, oh, I know this job that's hiring, or I know if I'm throwing an event.
Yeah.
Yo, see if you want to DJ. It's like we always want to help each other out. So that's why I always tell people it's like a very immigrant mindset.
I can see that.
I feel the same way. You like, where I work, it's predominantly white people. So when I see a brown person, I'm like, yo, what's up, dude?
What can I do for you?
Yo,
Exactly.
my guy, what's good?
But I really appreciate you coming on. If y'all know, this my big bro for real.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I've known Jordan since what?
Probably 2 or 3 years old.
Wow,
Wow,
that's some real shit. That's crazy.
It's really my big bro.
Yeah, Jordan was really like the cool kid in the neighborhood.
That's
He's trying to be all bashful now.
You know how like you was the cool youngin' because all the older kids was kicking with you.
Yeah.
It's just because you had a basketball court. That's why.
That's it. That's the only reason he wasn't cool. He just had the basketball court.
But it was cool because his dad had like the yellow like 300
The
ZX.
300
And his dad used to be out
that.
there hooping with the older kids. So it's like Jordan had the cool house to go hang out in the summers and shit.
Man.
That's dope. That's some real ties right there, bro. That's fire.
Yeah.
Damn, 2 or 3. What the hell?
Yeah, man. That's my guy, bro.
That's that
I
bro
think I
shit,
was
you
probably
right.
in the fifth grade when I met Jordan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just moved out the hood. It was like the area we lived in was kind of like everyone pretty much moved out the hood, and it was like the old like cookie cutter, build your own home type of situation.
Yeah.
It was like a minority report. Like everybody there was either like brown, black, or Asian. So
Yeah.
it was like cool. It was a really unique neighborhood.
Yeah.
And he used to have the only motherfucking pond and water fountain in the whole neighborhood.
Yeah,
we used
koi
to come
pond,
through.
you know what I mean?
The koi pond
the
with the
koi ponds,
fish and shit. I'm
the
like,
koi
we
fish.
young, bro. We ain't never seen some shit like that.
Fish, bodies of water. I never seen those
Especially in
motherfuckers.
Ohio, bro. Like,
I feel like it's even doper when you're that tied and you get out to LA and you got people like in a new city with you.
People don't know
that
this,
far
but
back.
Jordan is like I have my homie Ash. She's been telling me like, yo, you gotta come to LA. You gotta come out. Like she's been telling me this shit for the longest. And then one day I met him at this music festival. He's like, yo, I'm in LA now, and I'm like, word. I've always wanted to like, see what's LA about. I never really went out there like that. Even though friends was telling me to go out there. He's like, bro, you can come crash with me, whatever. And again, being from Ohio, we just want to help each other out. And then. So when I was just coming, I was just crashing at Jordan's place, and I was like, I told Jordan all the time, like you pretty much kind of opened that gateway for me to come to LA.
Thanks, man.
Like not a lot of people know this, but
Yeah, that's fire.
Jordan, I got
That's
you.
what you
man.
gotta do.
Yeah.
No, honestly though,
That's my big bro. Like this is the tie is a little different to all the other Ohio homies. Like the Ohio homies is cool. We always come together, but me and Khanh.
No, I think the same way. If there's anyone that hit me up,
when I met him, it was really weird because I didn't like he moved out the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
So like. It's like I meet the adult Jordan.
Yeah. So it's like a big,
not the little I'm like, oh,
like, oh wait,
the
what
little
the
fat
fuck?
kid.
we backstage at this music festival, fucking up at the the open bar. I'm like, oh, this is Jordan. This is crazy. I ain't seen this kid in so long.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Facts.
But I think it's dope like that too because there's circumstances where like there's always friends that want to help people succeed and build. Like, and I always find it weird to me that people don't think that way. Like, if someone were to hit me up, be like, yo, I'm thinking about coming to LA. Like, bro. Absolutely. Come stay on the couch however long you want to. Let me know. Yeah.
As soon as I seen Jordan moving out here, I told him exactly like, yo, whoever's doing this, you need to stop doing this with them.
Yeah.
This shit ain't gonna go nowhere.
Yeah.
You need to go focus on this. I pretty much breaking them down shit like
Literally.
Take your LinkedIn to a next level. Get on there. You don't have the experience, get some sort of experience. Work there for a little bit and then bounce here and then bounce there. I was just telling him shit. He actually listened to me.
Yeah, and that's the difference when people actually listen to you, like not wasting your time.
Oh shit! This
now
shit
look
really,
how great I am.
Really worked out.
Nah,
for
here
him,
we go.
Like on a better situation.
Yeah,
not for real.
You know, so I was like, it's good when you see people taking your advice and actually it's working out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, I agree.
It's one of those things where you always got to listen to the big homies. You know,
Right.
You always got to because they've been, you know, they're a couple steps ahead.
It's a respect level.
Yeah.
I'm just good at reading the field. Like if I see somebody, I'm like, I don't think you want to invest your time with that. Like, like bet on yourself that's what I was telling Jordan. Like just bet on yourself.
Damn,
that's what I've been doing. And
no wonder he puts on Instagram every morning, bet on yourself or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, it's funny. It's one of those things where, you know, Jordan will always post something in the morning. I'm like, man, that's mad inspirational,
Thanks,
dog.
man.
I'm like, damn. There was a video of Khanh that you reposted the other day that I was going to repost and shit, and I just completely forgot.
Yeah, I've always seen that video.
Which one? Oh, the one where he's like betting on yourself? Oh,
yeah. That
It's like, listen, I'm not living my American dream.
I had my old manager at Urban. He's like my boy Tim now.
Yeah.
Like he used to tell me like, I wake up every morning. I just read a motivational quote.
Yeah.
It's like that's how I start my day. And I think my life really changed when I went to Tokyo. I was like going through a lot of shit, and I was just like miserable because like you know you in Ohio, you know you're so talented, but you like I need an opportunity to, especially in this fashion industry design world. And I'm like, man, what's going on? And I took this trip to Tokyo, and bro, it literally just changed my life.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I came to realize that like most Americans, we wake up mad or like we take it on the next day.
Yeah.
Like if you get like a parking ticket, the next day it's still on your mind.
Yeah.
Or like if something that happened between you and your friend or your family, you like, oh, the next day I'm dragging this shit out the next day.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Tokyo, it changed my thought process because it's like, bro, like I'm going to Burger King and they're treating me with like so much respect. And like you see the respect, and then you see like it just puts you in a happy place when you like see respect and you see how people are moving.
Different perspectives, bro.
And the appreciation of like the subcultures in Tokyo is really dope. Like the way they appreciate fashion or music or everything like that. And yo, that trip just changed my life. It was really crazy because like I went there in like September. I hit my boy Ryan. I'm like, yo, I'm coming back in November. He's like, what the fuck? So I go back like during Thanksgiving, kick it out there. And then I end up getting this opportunity to work to present a project for Urban Outfitters. And I finished that project in January in Tokyo. And it was just like,
that's crazy.
It was crazy how many times I was going repetitively back, but it changed the way how I think. That it was amazing, bro. Like,
And then so to touch base on that, because Jordan was kind of filling us in before you got here, but so I know you pretty much have been designer for a couple big companies, and you've been doing your thing, and you've had some great success. So touch base on it. Was that something that started as a kid? Were you always like fashion, or did that slowly come to you when you got to LA? When did that switch happen for you?
To be real with you, growing up, I never had shit. Like my parents really like I was getting cherry newsies and like shopping at Payless and stuff. So
I feel you. The Shacks. I had the Shacks.
Yeah, like Hakeem's and Shacks. So like it was like everything was like very humble beginnings for myself.
Fire.
And I started like when I started finessing and hustling and figuring out ways to make money, I just always had a thing where like it was really weird, like being stylish but being poor, because you always look at other people how they wearing shit. You're like, damn, I would have wore them Jordans this way, and I'm looking at my shoes. It's like some bullshit, but I'm just fascinated with these things. So then I started painting T-shirts in high school and flipping shoes and stuff like that. And luckily, like it's really crazy because how I carry myself now, but growing up, all of my friends, so like they were selling drugs, like they were selling weed, or I had a cousin, he was on some other shit, like he was selling pills, and he was 14 years old pushing ecstasy, like
holy shit.
The shit that I experienced is like it's really fast, you know what I'm saying, for somebody at my age to see. And I remember me and one of my best friends in high school, we got an ounce of weed, and I was trying to be like, I'm gonna try this shit out, and we done smoked most of this shit. I made like $15. I wasn't serving like that. I served like the homie down the street, and he was like my only client. And I was just like, we broke up the math, and I was like, bro, like what? I only made $15? Like
probably was giving them the deals.
You know what I mean? I was just like, this ain't my type of hustle.
Yeah.
So
Pull that a little more closer to you too.
So I started customizing clothes and that was it. I would paint a T-shirt and sell it for like $60 to $80.
Wow.
And like I was cooking up. Like
what were you painting at the time? Like just like
it was like on some like Mesquite, like
okay,
some real customizing
yeah,
T-shirts.
yeah.
You know
Dope.
what I mean? And doing quotes and all sort of things. And I was like, yo, this is really creating like revenue for me. But after high school, I was also lost because I guess going to like an inner city school, you don't have friends that like talk about what colleges you're gonna go to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at that point, I was a little bit lost. Like I had one homie that had a full ride to like Bowling Green, and I didn't really have like that group of friends that's talking about colleges. Like especially with him, he was telling me about, you know, going to take the tests and everything. So I was doing that, but I was gonna go to UC, and I felt like they was trying to put me in like this program because of my grades, and then and I'm venturing off in like community college, and I think at that time I was like wasting so much time.
Yeah.
And then I went to Embassy and I met Eric, and he kind of like that whole trip visiting that store changed my life because he was telling me about a lot of his friends designing for Abercrombie because that's in Columbus, and he's like, yo, I got a friend that works at Abercrombie, and I don't know shit. So I'm like, what do you mean he designed clothes there? He's like, yeah, you can go to school and get a fashion design program. Like you can actually attend school for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I'm busy trying to do marketing and nurse. I'm jumping in so many degrees. I'm like, this is not making me happy. You know?
It's not you. For
It's
real.
not me. So luckily I bumped into a friend named Candace. That's another thing. I'm always like communicating and keeping the relationships with people. And then I knew Candace was going to school for fashion at Ohio State. So I was like, yo, like, what's going on with this and that? And she's like, yo, I'm going to be real with you. This would be a good place for like a marketing or a buying position. But if you're going to go in and do design, you should go to like the art school called CCAD. I'm actually taking classes there. So she kind of like alley-ooped me and told me to go there. And
oh, wow. Shout out Candace.
I put some time in school. Like,
Shout
school
out
was
Candace.
crazy. Yeah, school was crazy. And so after that, it was rough.
Yeah.
You know, because I literally was just like, I really did not want to work for any companies in Ohio.
Yeah.
And just because I wanted to focus more on a company that I want to work for, and especially something in menswear. And you know, I didn't land the Abercrombie job. I had like an interview with like Lane Bryant, and I was like, what the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do this. I literally missed the interview like 3 times. I couldn't get myself to do that. And then
no cap.
My boy Ryan, one day, I was helping him move. So my friend from Tokyo at the time, he was leaving Ohio State, going to grad school in New York. He's like, yo, you got to come to New York. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to help you move. We'll go to New York. We'll see what's up. So I go to New York, and I'm on LinkedIn. I'm like, yo, I know the director of HR. Like, I'm about to just message her. It was like 5 or 6 in the morning. I decided to just hit her up like, hey, Michi, I'm in New York, and we still on the road. So hours later, like at like 8 o'clock, she hit me up like, hey, Khanh, like, what's going on? Come by the office and grab a coffee with me. I'm hyped because I'm like, yo, Ralph Lauren, this is crazy. It's like one of my favorite designers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I met up with her, and Michi she just kept it so real with me. She was like, I think you got the talent. I think you got what it takes, but like, you're in Ohio, and it's like the company, you know, they would much rather. There's a lot of fish in the pond in New York. Like, we got so much talent out here.
Yeah,
like, they're not gonna
facts.
waste all that money to hire a kid from like Ohio.
Yeah,
so
right.
what I did was she was like, you got to move here. So I ended up lying to her saying I moved there. I changed my address on my resume. I used my homie's address. That's what it was. I used my homie's
Fake
address.
it till you make it.
Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And like, I
That's
think
where
the
you wanna
only
be.
person in my life that seen the drive was my mother. Because like, I would just literally be at my homie's place screen printing shirts or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I'll get like an HR call from Ralph like, hey, your resume shuffled up, and are you free on Thursday for an interview? This is on a Tuesday night.
And you're in Ohio.
I'm in Ohio, so I'm lying. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm actually working at this restaurant in Soho. Like, I just made up some shit. Like, I'm working at some restaurant in LES somewhere. I don't think I can make that interview by Thursday, but maybe Friday. If I tell my manager, I can probably go through.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, we got you down on Friday at 10 o'clock. So as soon as I figured this out, it's already 8 o'clock. I tell my mom, I literally go pack my bags and just hop on this bus. It's like this Chinatown bus.
Wow.
It literally takes you to New York for like $50 and it drops you off in Chinatown. I literally booked that bus that night and take a trip like at midnight. I get to New York, go to my friend's house, Ryan's crib, just relax, and then I run to like, I forgot what was it. I'll go to like, I forgot which store it was, but it might have been one of the H&M or one of them type of stores. I forgot the name right now. Top Man. I'm sorry.
Okay,
the Nordstrom joint.
Yeah, I went to Top Man, the store, and I literally get the suit and I'll buy it and then wear it to the interview.
Yeah.
And I'll return the shit.
Bet.
And that was the thing. And I think I did 3 interviews with Ralph. Like I kept getting close and close and close. And like that was when I was like the breaking point where like, oh, we don't have the budget. They trying to lowball me, blah, blah, blah. And then I got so frustrated. I was like, I'm about to just go back to Ohio. Like, I'm about to go back home and just hustle and create a brand or build something. And then I went back home, built a brand, had a retail shop for like almost 2 years.
Did exactly what you said you was going to do.
And then Urban called me, for an interview. And that's when I was doing the trip to Tokyo and I ended up landing a job, moved to Philly, trying to balance a retail shop and also being in Philly.
Wow.
And then moved to LA.
He's being humble, man.
Yeah, moved. Mess with Jordan, moved to LA.
He's being humble, man.
It coming out here was just like it was really fascinating. And then landing the job at Levi's was like the goal. Like that was my ultimate dream job. And working there, you realize sometimes you're like, there are some people that they're just a bit too creative, and with me, I just felt like I was very creative, and I was able to do a lot of cool things. And then sometimes I have like that corporate structure I deal with that kind of like bothers me. But I learned a little bit about the corporate structure when I was at Urban because I care so much about making cool stuff. And at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, it's like, you just work there. Like, this is not who you are.
It doesn't define you. Yeah.
So when I meet people, like. When I would meet people, I would never tell them I work at Levi's. I would introduce them myself. Like, I'm Khanh, I do this, I'm a designer, here's my Instagram. And then the Levi's part was just like the icing on the cake.
Would just get there, yeah.
But I used to tell people all the time, like, I would meet people that work at Nike or any of these places, and they feel like they're so much better than other people. And I'm like, I used to hate that shit. So when people used to feel like a way about me working at Levi's, I'm like, yo, it's just a job, bro.
Right.
Like, it's
facts.
It's just a stepping stone for real.
Because at the end of the day, when they take this job away from you, who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
I always wanted to be my own entity. Like I always wanted to be myself and everything like that. So,
that's a great point.
It's funny.
I tell people all the time, like, don't even people seeing people out here in LA. I'm like, yo, just don't take your job because it's like I've seen this happen in real time. Where like there are people that get lit because they work at a certain field.
Yeah.
And then they either get laid off or they get
Fired.
fired.
Putting all the eggs in one basket.
I've heard a quote that says that like some people make their job their personality trait, and like you shouldn't because you shouldn't. It shouldn't define you by where you're employed by, right? Like you said, Nike, Levi's, whatever it is, you're still Khanh, Jordan, Jesus, and fucking Brandon, right? Yeah. So then when people are like, "Oh, I do this," I'm like.
Awesome.
That's cool, dude.
Right.
Shit, you have a job. You're employed.
Shit, I look at it as they paying the bills.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's income for me to pay the bills. I learn, if I'm going to start my own brand, I learn the corporate structure of how to run this brand correctly at the end of the day. But I ain't going to let him be all humble on here because I love Big Bro to death.
Big Bro,
but,
man.
But
Put him
man, I'm going to let y'all know this nigga
he
run the city, man.
The whole city? All of LA?
Columbus, bro.
Oh, like Columbus.
Columbus, like, I mean...
Ohio's a great place.
The crazy thing is, though, I mean, I used to always see Ohio merch. This is probably before we really linked back up. But when I was in high school and college, I always see Ohio merch. And I'd be like, who the fuck is making this shit?
Yeah.
And like, everybody's rocking it and shit.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's this nigga. Like, he's the one cooking up all these hats and all these shirts. And, bro, the Ohio stamp. Like, if you ever see Ohio
it was
merch,
crazy. Like, a lot of people don't realize why I do so much Ohio stuff. It's like, it's like a reasoning behind it. Because I was always like, what I always thought about was like, let's be realistic here. Like I always thought about being realistic. I'm like, I'm interviewing for Ralph and Urban, all these companies, and like, to be real with you, I dealt with this shit at Levi's. So there's always like a conflict of interest. For some reason, a lot of these companies don't want you to have a brand or work on other side shit.
They don't want you
because they won't get 100% out of you,
bro. So I thought, like, you know what? I'm just gonna make. I love representing where I'm from because I like to let people know, like, Ohio got cool. Like, let's be real, all the most talented, unique people come from Ohio. You know what I mean? Like
LeBron James,
Cuddy, Halle Berry, like. List Ohio players like Bootsy Collins. It's a lot of cool, crazy shit that comes out of Ohio. A lot of people don't realize that comes from Ohio. But at the time, I want to make some cool shit that you can wear and represent where you from. Like, I'm like, why are you wearing a New York hat? Or LA? Like, you live in Ohio. Like, this don't resonate right with me. So I was making shit, and I just kept making all cool Ohio stuff because I didn't want to be in that situation where like I land a corporate job or whatever, and they, you know, that's the conflict of interest. So then when it came down to it, I was like, they can't trip up on making Ohio shit.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah, but it happened to me at Levi's.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't want me to.
why?
Yeah, they didn't want me to sell nothing. And I was like, I'm just selling graphic tees. But that's the weirdest part about being a designer because I'm not gonna name drop, but like there was another dude at Levi's that he was a buyer and he had his own brand. And literally you seeing his brand on other people's, like on stickers around the building.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's so-and-so shit? And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's his shit.
That's
and
weird.
I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, why he's getting away with this? I was like, oh, because he's a buyer. I'm like, so since I'm a designer, I can't I can't do that. And then he's like, yeah, that's against, like, you know what I mean? You can't do that. That's conflict of interest. I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird. And yeah, it was a situation where like they really did not want me to do that. Like I had a situation with Levi's where it was like they was trying to terminate me for that. Like, you know, so it's not just with Levi's. I've heard stories about Nike.
Anyone,
like
you even see Ye going through a Gap,
yeah.
bro.
At the end of the day, it's like it happens.
And
not
he
just to me.
can't get like bigger than that, really. And he's still running the conflict. He just puts it on blast, so they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta make sure this is good."
I know y'all saw him put the clothes in the
trash bags.
He was like, nah, no, nothing on hangers.
That shit's fire, honestly, in my opinion. I love that.
No, it's funny you say that because
you gotta rumble through to find your size and shit.
Is that how it is with you?
Yeah, I mean, I work for a merch company as well, licensed company. So you know, because I have a clothing company too, and like, you know, when we got into Foot Locker, you know, in my like employment contract, they were like, oh well, if you work on any side projects during the time that you're here, technically we could own those things, right? So you know, I just went up to the CEO and my boss. I was just like, hey, this is happening. First of all, this is all mine. I need you guys to put in writing that you guys don't own any of my shit, because first of all, it's all been worked on after hours and all that stuff.
To the merch company.
Yeah, to the merch company.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah,
but it happens all the time where it's just like it's in like the employment contracts with if it's a conflict of interest, like you said, it doesn't benefit them because you're learning the ways with their company and you're applying it to what you want to do, right? And it's just like they're the fools thinking that we're going to give 100% to them. But we obviously, I think everyone in LA and even different parts of the country, you don't want to fucking work for your 9 to 5. So you're trying to take and learn everything that you can working for these corporations and be like, well, I like this. I'm going to apply it to whatever I do. But yeah, it's so crazy that that's one of those things where it's like, well, we're going to terminate you because you're working on your own shit. It's
it's crazy because I remember the first thing when I had to interview my senior designer at Urban, my homie Jay, he was like, I was like, how do you feel about me having like my own side thing? Like I just blunt with him, like I don't know what's going on. He's like, bro, he's like, dude, he's like, I love it.
He's like, so do I.
Because he had a really good way of thinking.
Yeah.
He's like, most people, they just go to work and they go home. Yeah. They go back to their little regular lives and that. He's like, I like the fact that you are always doing something because outside of work, you're still looking at trends, you're still designing. Yeah. And it shows to me that you're still, like, that's like you are an owner of a team. Yeah. And you're like, all right, bro, I don't want you to get hurt after practice and whatever. You don't need to practice outside of practice and that. And he's telling you not to, but he's like, but then there's a guy out there like, nah, fuck that. I want to go work out on weekends. I want to get better. Like a LeBron James. He's so improving his body, but I never understood that structure because I always look at it like, as long as you're not doing no fraudulent shit, like you're still continue to make better, like be better at your craft.
Yeah. And not only are you better in your craft too, but I think, you know, what these corporations don't understand is that they have a better asset in you because, like you said, you know, you're still looking at trends. Yeah, you're probably creating these trends.
Facts.
And you know, and if like you're applying it to your hustle, you might be giving a little bit to them as well. So it only benefits them for people to be doing things on their own.
Exactly.
So it's just like it's like so ass backwards.
They want them robots, man. They just want people that just do what they need to do.
It's always separations, bro. Because it's like what separated me was when I was at Levi's. I was like, I'm telling my manager, like my director, like, yo, we need to figure out a budget to go to Art Basel, like in Miami. It's gonna be a vibe, like it's gonna be a good time and all that stuff. And then he was like, well, we don't have the funding. I'm like, I don't care about the funding. I'll figure out a way to get out there. Just let me get Thursday and let me get Friday and Monday off. Just let me go out there. I'm gonna trend. I'm researching it pretty much.
Yeah.
But I used to take that to advantage because it was not just for work, but I felt like I need to be in these places
too. You can network yourself,
and meet people and understand.
See what's up.
And it was crazy. And then I was able to see Futura at the event, and bro, I'm telling you, like he inspired the shit out of me because it's like he's so much older, and nobody knew this, but I knew this at the time. He was doing something with Levi's at the in Wynwood, and I looked down like, bro, like you just inspired me so much because his speech was very thoughtful, and I'm like, how do you do this?
Yeah,
like, he just took a red eye from Dubai. He just did Intersect the day before Basel.
Wow.
Like the man is on like probably like 8 hours of sleep. Like I don't know how much sleep he's getting, but I was like, for him to be that old and he's still doing it, he's loving it.
That's crazy.
Making it happen. It really inspired me.
That is inspiring as fuck.
I tell people all the time, like, you know, there's no time limit to what you want to do. Like, don't ever put yourself on a time limit because it's like you never know when you're gonna strike that gold or when you're gonna get your career off, or you know, even like I'll tell people, even being a parent, like, you know what I mean, or a family member or brother or sister, like, you know, there's times in life where you feel like you could do better, but it's like you can always go back and become better later. Like it doesn't take time. But seeing Futura is like, it was definitely life changing for sure.
Yeah, that's big.
So who would you say, as far as like the design aspect or like a fashion aspect, who is your inspiration?
I had that in my mind already.
My inspiration.
You took it out my mouth.
I mean, it doesn't have to be one person. It could be multiple people.
Man, my biggest inspiration is my mom.
Wow, that's dope.
So like my mom used to tell me, like, I have like a crazy background, you know what I mean? But my mom used to tell me growing up, she used to make all my older siblings clothes. Like she has like this artsy side to her.
Yeah.
That's
dope. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. And I think growing up, I was always so weird. Like I was always attention to detail. Like I remember I seen some kid, and I believe it's probably like second grade, like this Chinese kid. It was stood out to me because I went to a predominantly black school. So seeing another Asian kid, you like remember him.
Yeah.
So I remember he had like holes in his pants, but his mom or his dad, whoever, repaired it with like other fabrics.
Oh yeah,
right? It's crazy because then he was doing that because of a poverty. But now you looking at it like that's
what
trend.
everybody
But like,
that's fire. Yeah.
It's just at that young age, I always been attention to detail. Like I paid attention to those type of things, and it's crazy because growing up, I really get inspired by Ralph Lauren's my favorite fashion designer. Iconically, James Dean. Like I'm really weird. Like why am I admiring this? Like James Dean. But I remember it was my fashion history class, and I didn't know exactly what to do for this project. Yeah. And Mrs. Steele, my professor, was like, you wear all the coolest sneakers. Yeah. Like, you always got some cool sneakers on. Yeah. She's like, you should do fashion history about sneakers. And I was like, I didn't know I could do that. She's like, yeah, this is what you like to wear. Yeah. Let's go at it. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me research about sneakers, something I really love, you know what I mean? And I did the research on sneakers. And people don't know this, but there's this iconic photo of James Dean where he did a Levi's ad. And that specific day, he felt like he wanted to feel comfortable, so he wore Converse.
Wow.
So this is a crazy story, because growing up, people that wore Converse only wore Converse to go to the gym, to play basketball, whatever, just on some athleisure type shit. The only shoes that guys were wearing back then were like desert boots, like Clark's desert boots. Killing it.
Yeah.
So he decided he wanted to wear Converse. Like that was his thing. He said about how like he was just comfortable that day, and this Levi, he felt like the Converse went really well with his blue jeans. That's really why he wore it.
That's crazy.
So
That's
such an
crazy.
iconic
think
look.
about this though.
That's crazy.
Think about
That's
this.
wild.
Nobody had social media back then.
Yeah, no.
Nothing. This ad back then, these ads were sent out in mail, and you'll
Magazine,
see it.
Newspaper and stuff.
Newspapers, whatever the case may be. Iconically, James Dean switched the whole shit up. The whole world started wearing tennis shoes with blue jeans.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like
That's
if it wasn't
crazy.
for James Dean that day to feel that type of way,
Yeah.
like you would never. It probably would have. We don't know who the next iconic person
Who would have done it or how
could
long
have
it
been
would have
Michael
took.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Could have been Run DMC. You never know. But
Yeah.
he broke that. Like he
crazy.
created sneakers like
And that's
to wear that with clothes.
That's such an iconic look now. You just put a
Yeah.
white tee, blue jeans, Converse.
Some
Yeah,
Converse.
so
Yeah.
like it's weird when I tell people
crazy.
That's crazy.
James Dean, they like, oh, James Dean. I'm like, yeah, bro, he's really the shit.
Yeah.
you do
If
your
you
history,
look
your
into it,
research,
yeah.
he's really the shit.
Yeah.
And I think it's just me being Asian and growing up loving Bruce Lee and like
Yeah.
American cultures and cars. And like
Yeah.
I love
This nigga
JDM
love
and import
cars.
cars, but
Yeah,
I
me
do
too.
love like muscle cars. Like being in Ohio was like it was kind of like having a pistol in Texas, but vehicles in Ohio, like they don't give a fuck. Like you could put, like my cousin had a Honda Civic with 550 to the wheel, turbo the fuck out, driving that shit on the freeway.
Bro,
or
what?
You'll go to like a car show, you seen
No cap.
a WRX with like 1,000 horsepower going against like a Challenger or some shit like that. They don't give a care about
Yeah.
cars in Ohio. Like it's crazy.
They just
So-
slamming whatever in.
What the
yeah,
fuck?
so
That's
growing up, I
crazy.
was just fascinated with cars and
Yeah.
and culture. Like that's what it was. Like I knew a little. Like my culture was just lost. Like I have a lost culture because like I'm a part. My dad is a part of like the Vietnam War, and like I tell
Wow.
people all the time, it's like I don't really know my country the same way because the
Yeah.
government that's really running the program out there is what
Yep.
imprisoned my dad. So like I feel a certain type of way with that. So
Yeah.
when I came to America, I was fascinated with the shit I seen, but at the same time, I was also fascinated with like the classic cultures and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's why landing a job at Levi's was amazing. But COVID came, I got laid off, and
Yeah.
I'm back in LA and back in
Yeah.
the hustle and the grind. And
So are you just doing your own brand now?
yeah,
and your
I'm just
own-
doing my own thing right
Word.
now. Just freelancing here and
Okay.
there, helping out, and I got some potential things on the works.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's been good.
Don't
It
sleep
has
with my
ups and
boy,
downs.
man, with them jeans, boy.
Yeah.
And them,
Oh, yeah, the jeans.
and them jeans them bitches different. I can't even wear them because I ain't got enough swag.
Ah, come on, now you capping. Come on,
Nah,
now.
for real.
He's
though.
The jeans was like-
you could rock
bro.
the
The
jeans.
jeans was like a weird part of myself where
Yeah.
when I had the meeting with Levi's when I was working there, I was like, so the lady kept it real like, Khanh, you don't have to sell. Like if you make something, you can still post it.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay. So this is COVID, right? You can't really do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lockdown is crazy right now in the Bay. So I started upcycling jeans. Like I started ripping them apart, putting them together, silently selling them through DMs. And I was selling them to like athletes and all types of people was DMing me. I was like, damn, they paying like $500 to $1,000 for these jeans.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. 'cause
Yeah.
I was like, I always, that's the biggest thing about me when I create something. I'm like, oh, let me test the market. And I was like, damn, I got people willing to pay a band or plus for jeans, custom jeans. Like, okay, I must be doing something right. So
Yeah.
it just became like a little hobby, and then it just became a thing. And then I think the biggest flex is when Sam Samataro, I'm sorry, Sam. He used to be with Denim Dudes and stuff, but he has like a really big Instagram fashion type of thing. And I remember he did a video with High Snob, and it's just at the time he was speaking, and they asked him. This is like on Levi's 501 day.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah.
So they asked him like, yo, what is your favorite pair? Like, what's your favorite Levi's, or what are you seeing out? Like, what's your pair of the year? And this is on the Levi's Instagram Live. I think I have it on my Instagram. He's like, yo, my favorite Levi's or shit I'm seeing this year gotta be from like Made by NG. Like, he gave me this shout out.
Wow.
Posted my jeans.
That's crazy.
I'm sitting there like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like mind blown,
I'm
yeah.
like, damn, I'm already a target. Like, what's going on? Like,
Oh, shit.
I think that's another thing about, like, I guess what makes me humble is because working for these big companies, I wanted to be silent and play background. But I was just too lit.
You was a
So
front
it's
runner.
like, it really was like hard for me to just play this background thing.
Yeah, when you're getting recognized.
When you're getting recognized, and I think that's another thing that really is also why I'm humble about a lot of what I do, because a lot of the time I had to do everything behind the scenes and not put my name out there.
Yeah.
And that is a very humbling thing, because it lets you realize that, like, fashion moves so fast where, like, yeah, it's good to, like, toot your horn and whatever the case may be, but it's like, if you so caught up in being all up in yourself, you can be forgotten tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's just, at the end of the day, I'm always driven. Like, I know, like realistically, like, maybe in a few years, nobody's going to pay $1,000 for my jeans. Like, you never know. It can happen. So
who knows? They may pay $10,000 for your
you
jeans.
never know.
It
So
could go up,
you
could
gotta
go
just
down
keep
either way,
thinking how you're going to up the ladder, or how
Yeah.
you're going to make this happen. So I've been researching and figuring out ways to create these things for the masses, but also keep the quality and the quantity and exclusivity. And so it's a process right now.
So I have a question. So I know you mentioned kind of trend research and stuff like that. Right. So it's crazy because I feel like trend research, you got to look in the future. Right. But I feel what a lot of people do is they actually look in the past. Like, what's the balance of that? Like, how much are you looking in the past and how much are you looking in the future when you're doing
good question,
trends?
buddy.
Right. It's a 50. It's honestly, to me, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my inspiration comes from vintage. So I'm always looking. I'm at the Roosevelt Flea. I'm always.
Literally.
I love that bitch. You know what I mean? So I look from the graphic standpoint, the fit silhouette, the wash and everything like that. But I think being able to travel, I gotta say, it's what really changed the way how I look at trends. Like,
I can see that.
Like, I think when I worked at Urban, the concept dudes was just whoring Japanese fashion, and I've been to Japan, and I'm like, I love Japan because they do appreciate fashion so much.
Yeah. Always ahead.
Always ahead.
Yeah. But I tell people all the time, right? Like, right now, who controls fashion? America.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's because you also got to understand the East Coast style, and then you also know what people are wearing out West.
Yeah.
So when I'm in New York, I'm tapped in. I'm kicking it, going to all the cool parties, meeting the right people, whatever the case may be. So I'm keeping an eye on what people
seeing
are
what
wearing.
they're sporting and
When
shit.
I'm going out West, I'm going to Rose Bowl, seeing what people wearing here at this event or this, that. I'm paying attention. So it lets you realize, like, the mediums. I think that's the reason why Midwest is so cool, being from Ohio, because it's such a melting pot.
Yeah,
So
you
like,
got
being
both
from the
of them.
Midwest is like, we hear about, like, people don't realize, like, when you're in the Midwest, you know about the lit song that's popping in L.A. And you know what's shaking in New York.
Yeah.
Or you kind of get this mixture because you're such in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I know people out West that never got a chance
the same way
to go to New York.
Yeah.
Like, they never even explored the East Coast.
Yeah.
But, like, being in the Midwest, like, I'm running to New York, I'm running to LA, I'm going to Miami, I'm going to Tokyo, like, I'm going everywhere, and I'm bringing that knowledge in the Midwest. But then Midwest can also be a point where, like, you can hit a ceiling because it's so small. So you got to know how to, like,
balance, bro.
You got to know how to have the balance maneuver. But, like, again, back to trends, it's just about paying attention to what people wear and personalities. Like, I think I learned that through working within my, like, working at Urban and everything like that. Cause, like, I had a design for, like, a preppy look, a street look, like a very hipster look. So I can really read fashion really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's
It's
really what separates. Yeah,
that's a skill set, bro. Yeah.
You know, one of the funny things that I always say at work is that, you know, they're always kind of, you know, Urban is one of our customers, and they're always kind of saying, like, oh, what should we design? What should we design? But like you said, the trend, America is the front runner when it comes to all that. And I think streetwear has been the driving force in trends, I don't know, probably for the past 10 years.
Bro, it's been
for a minute.
crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like, I always say, like, how come we don't, like, most of our clients or most of the licenses we hold are like metal bands. I'm like, how come we don't design metal into streetwear? Because then the kid at Urban that doesn't know this band is gonna fucking wear it. They don't give a fuck. It looks cool.
It looks cool.
And it's just like, and they're always just like, well, we're just gonna design.
Because a lot of these companies are always ran by people that know what the fuck is going on.
Don't even know. Yeah, they just some dudes in suits with the money. Yeah,
I don't think anyone from my work is gonna watch this, but I always say that my industry is run by old
Hector Rodriguez. He don't work there. It's Hector.
It's run by old white dudes that have no idea what they're so out of touch of what is actually
anything,
silly.
bro. That's literally anything.
It's just like a power,
sports, music. They don't know.
It's all like a power trip, bro.
Yeah,
like even let's be real. Like America is ran by
white dudes.
White niggas.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
With money.
I think
money. Facts.
I think the littest shit is like the mayor of Cleveland. He's like, I believe he's like in his late 30s.
Word.
Hell yeah.
Crazy. I was like, that's dope.
That's
like,
dope as
I always
fuck.
wanted
Young.
to be able to have a younger, cooler type of leadership.
Yeah,
bro.
because you can relate more to it too, and not be like you don't even know anything about our life or background.
On a side note, once
once
like our age demographic gets into like the political shit, I don't think it's gonna be like it's all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because there's so much like interracial shit. You're never gonna see racist
that is,
shit.
bro.
You're never gonna see.
That's
this is all white motherfuckers.
That's a good
Asian,
segue.
Black
That's a
dude,
good segue
Mexican,
too.
White dude. Like,
we getting close on time, so
it's crazy because my homie shared me this little video on Instagram, and it's called like people from 1960s. Like it's like this Instagram account.
Yeah,
and they interview young kids about what they'll think in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then one of the kids says like, I think in the year 2000, people will take people seriously.
Interesting.
Like they would take people more serious as people.
Yeah.
And then, we talk, that's with Black Lives Matter, Stop the Asian Hate.
Yeah.
We're talking about gays and trans. Like we are very accountable what we say.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. This dude predicted that in the 60s.
60s, yeah.
And then one girl predicted that computers and electronics and would fully be like the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like we're so dependent on.
I mean, we really are.
We said the same.
Yeah, we really
That's so true, bro.
Like, it's so crazy, but
We
it's
both said the
it's
same
this
fucking-
Instagram account that interview these young kids about what they'll predict about the 2000
That's crazy.
year 2000 actually, but the 2000 and they were spot on, bro. It's
That's
kinda-
wild.
Yeah, that's
That
crazy
is
to see.
crazy.
And it's fucking true.
But we are getting close to time. We love our people at Dr. Self Tapes. We can't keep my boy late. We got the hard out. But to wrap it up quickly, Jordan, as I was saying on the segue part there, the self-care tip.
Oh, the
Shout it
self-care
out real
tip?
quick.
All right, my self-care tip of the week, people. It's gonna be yourself and really lock into yourself and lock into your purpose. Kind of going back to Khanh, he's had all these big corporations, he's had all these big jobs and things that people dream of,
Facts.
And at the end of the day, he always comes back to himself.
Hell yeah.
And that's something
It's a
I
place to
learned,
come back to, yeah.
And I learned that in LA. Like,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, really find your purpose. It doesn't matter if you work for Google, Yahoo, Levi's, or whatever the fuck you do. As long as you got yourself and your purpose, you got to just
And
keep
like
being
you said earlier, whatever brand, company you're doing work for, that is not you. That doesn't
it's
define
not
you.
you.
You are your own entity. Which
I mean,
thought
shit. When
was
I grew
fucking
up,
dope.
I grew up though, like I wanted to work at Nike. That was the dream job. And then once you get that dream job, you like this shit ain't all
Ain't
it's
all
up to
that.
be.
I got to the dream job. I'm like, wow, this is it.
No,
You're like, man, fuck
I think the
this
biggest
shit.
thing about back up where I was at was like living in the Bay. I was miserable there.
Yeah, this
Word.
nigga was miserable.
No
I ain't
fruits of
gonna cap.
labor, so teched out and so gentrified.
That's
So you're
true.
like, I'm
That's
paying all this
wild.
rent. I could be in New York, LA.
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Like it just
think
tells
it-
you
yeah.
just, you get to where you at and then you're just unhappy. And
Yeah.
it's really a
Damn,
sad.
the Bay got
It's
no
really
culture.
sad to say
But
that.
that's why if you have yourself and a place to go to, you can figure out who you are and what you do, and know that that's not the end. Like, okay, I came here. Fuck it. I'll
I
go
could
here
come
next.
back.
Yeah.
You can come back. You can
Exactly.
figure it out. Like,
Facts.
Again,
Yeah.
to elaborate with Jordan, it's just like I feel like people are so caught up in living or so fantasize other people's lives and they forget about their life. And it's just like, yeah, this person got to where he's at because he really worked hard and he put in this type of effort and this type of work. If you do that too, or be humble with yourself, like accept your life too. Like
Facts.
your life can't
Agreed.
be as super lit as everyone else, but
Yeah.
as long as you have a circle of friends, you got love and comfort. That's very
That's the
important.
biggest happiness, bro.
Like
yeah.
us Ohioans, we just have each other out
Yeah,
there.
it's a big group too, man. It's a lot of love out in Ohio.
That's why we love on each other that type
For
of way.
real.
'Cause we don't have.
I gotta put this
here.
to a part Ohio podcast, bro.
Hey,
I'm
man,
gonna have like 3 Boston motherfuckers on this bitch, all Ohio.
We
the rest
all
of the
lit
way.
though. We all lit though.
No, for real.
But
It's
yeah,
true.
nah, that nigga did hate the Bay. I ain't gonna lie. He always
I
texts
mean,
me
the way
like,
he
bro,
explained it, man, there's no culture in the Bay. That's what it sounds like.
You know what's the
My
worst
girl
though
live
when
in the
you
Bay.
like have that weekend. And
Yeah.
You know you put in a lot of work. You like, oh,
I'm trying to do something.
weekend. And you just sit at home and you just don't do shit.
I love those weekends, bro.
Nah, but that's not the weekend you want to have when you trying to like enjoy a new city.
Yeah,
True.
I feel
Right?
that.
Like you
Very
go to
true.
Yeah, I went out there. It wasn't. I didn't really
if you
feel
had
like a city
weekend,
nightlife. Yeah.
Imagine you was just in your career and your weekend was in like New York City. You like, oh shit, I'm
Lit.
going here. I'm doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I can go shopping. I got some friends in town.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is type of food I want to try. Endless things to do. It's like a game of Sims, right? You want to be happy again.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
that mood where you got to put
Yeah.
yourself in a happy mood. And
Yeah.
Facts.
I definitely wasn't in no happy mood out there. I have a lot of good Bay friends. I'm not going to disrespect the Bay. It's just not for me.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You got a hot take
I
on
don't
that
have
note
a
on
hot
anything?
take.
No
No,
hot
no.
takes? You got to think of one.
No, that boy
Jordan
was
freestyles his self-care on the spot.
that boy was inspired over there. He's like, he
I
in the
was
clothing.
inspired
He was
to
just
do
listening to
it.
this nigga like, man, I'm about to go take that shit
No, I
off.
remember when what was the other boy's name?
Who? Who? Dino?
Dino Renown?
Dino.
Yeah.
When I watched-
Shout out Dino too, man. Yeah.
Because I mean, like I said,
Good-ass
like
dude.
I've just to kind of wrap this up. I mean, I've been doing kind of like not clothes, but like t-shirts since I was like 15. Like my love for clothes started in
before
the
we,
industry.
I'm going to cut you off, bro.
Yeah.
That's clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I was
It's
just
clothes,
I've been doing
yeah.
I tell
clothes
people all the
since-
time is like when I be meeting people and
Yeah.
they kind of lower their standard because they sell t-shirts. I'm like, bro, that's apparel.
It's
Yeah, it's
yeah.
very
I mean,
true.
like-
You still putting it on your body and
For
wearing
everyone
it,
that
rocking
start
it.
off somewhere, I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, when I work, I'm telling you, I worked at Levi's, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to keep talking about working at Levi's, bro.
Yeah.
What is Levi's known for?
Clothes.
Yeah.
Denim.
Exactly.
But what really, when I worked there, I found out their power driving program was graphic tees.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
cheapest
that was
thing.
literally what kept the bills on.
Yeah,
At Urban Outfitters, graphic tees.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Like, people don't realize graphic tees,
it's the biggest
it's
margin.
literally the backbone of a company. So don't ever
And
hate
they've
on
been
the-
living for
Don't
forever.
hate on the people that's making graphic tees.
Yeah,
There's nothing
nah.
wrong with that.
Shit. Well, I
Yeah,
fucking
see?
make apparel. So yeah,
feel
my,
me?
my love started off with streetwear. You know, loving streetwear in high school, and I was like, oh, I'll make my own brand. Started working in screen printing. And then I was just like, yeah, I went to college. I was like, oh, I want to do this marketing shit. Yeah, didn't work out. Went back to working screen printing, and then I just kind of ended up in these licensing apparel companies, and it was just like, damn, like holy fuck. You look at this kind of big machine that is graphic tees. It's just such a multi-billion-dollar industry that everybody fucking looks at.
We gotta start hitting the All Bass No Treble.
But
apparel,
yeah,
man.
no, like I watched the episode with Dino and I wasn't able to be here, and I'm like, God damn, I wish I would have been that episode because it interests me how other people think about apparel, like I said, trends and shit like that. So
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he definitely, he did his thing and cool with the homie and everything like that. But yeah, everything that I'm telling you, bro, like I tell people all the time, bro, like before Virgil died, I don't want to keep holding y'all. I'm gonna tell you this real inspirational story. But last July, I was able to go to Rolling Loud weekend. And my guy Ricks was like, yo, keep it between us. But Virgil was DJing like this private party. Like, nobody knows about it, but we're on the list.
yeah,
Oh shit.
We go to this party. I'm telling you, there's probably like 30-something people in there.
Wow.
Shit is dead.
yeah,
But outside was lit. It was like in this private room.
yeah,
And bro, I sit there, I'm just like mesmerized. Like I've seen Virgil before.
Yeah.
But I was like, this time was different. Like,
yeah,
he had like this crazy trap ass set. Like he was going off. And the biggest thing I took out of it was like, yo, how does this man make time for this? Like he came and DJ a set at Rolling Loud, and he came here to turn this shit the fuck up. I'm pretty sure he's about to hop on a private jet and either go
Goes
to
to
Paris
the
or
next thing, bro.
whatever
Yeah.
he has to do
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
finish up his projects or whatever you gotta, anything he has to do. I was just so inspired because of the fact that I get criticized, like people be like, yo, you be outside or you kick it a lot, blah, 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 blah. And people be saying that shit to me, and I like sometimes it bothers me. But then with what I've seen from Virgil, I realize is like there's nothing wrong with him. He's taking time to kick it and party and DJ. It's like we need this as creatives. You know what I'm saying? But going back to that, it's like he started everything through a T-shirt, and I was just like I tell people,
Facts.
like,
That's
Right?
true.
nobody
Facts.
knows what.
That's
I mean,
true.
he's at
That's
LV.
big facts, yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
that it was crazy because like I posted this little slide And my caption was Virgil set over Rolling Loud. Like I was like, his set was way more fun than going to Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
And he like I was hyped because he commented on my shit. I was like, oh shit, Virgil's commenting on my shit. But I gotta say, like that moment that I was able to see Virgil before he passed, I was just like, yo,
that's a moment, bro.
That's that moment. I take that shit to the grave because I just realized it's like people don't protect creatives' mental health. Like just because you don't like it, you don't gotta go on the Instagram and comments. It's like you fucking suck, you trash, and all this shit. Like it's just uncalled for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like protect creative mental health, and I feel like. Yeah, Virgil's the shit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. Rest in peace to Virgil, bro.
Yeah.
Legend,
that's so crazy, bro.
I'll
never forget when I seen that. I was in the sauna. I was like, what the fuck?
Boy, in the sauna.
Facts.
Life's too short, man. You gotta make sure your legacy's there.
Oh, damn. They ain't gonna hear what
you pulled the whole...
It's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
We back.
Good?
We back.
Right, bet.
But no. I was about to wrap it up on that note too, for sure, because that's a great fucking story. I don't really think anyone's gonna tell you where to end it.
He's trying to be humble.
He's being humble.
I meet youngins all the time. I'm like, yo, like don't stop your t-shirt hustle, man, because that shit can provide for your family. It can provide for the bigger picture.
I think the biggest thing too, stick to yourself and know that you're yourself as an entity. Whatever you work or do or whatever, there's always something better. Shout out Cozy Gang, yesterday's news.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So many creatives in it. I know, for real. Yeah.
I sold some hats from product shots because them bitches was not selling.
I'm
right?
cool.
Like I love this man.
I love everything you do in Jordan, but them product shots ass, bro.
All right. Well, we got the good ones.
I told him that shit.
I
told him that shit.
Like, man,
we good, but he learned. That's how you learn, man. That's how you learn.
You gotta make sure your shit
for real.
you know what I mean?
Shout out all my brothers working. I love y'all, man. Inspiration on the table, for real. But
appreciate all the feedback.
Appreciate you coming on the show, for real, man. I think a lot of people are gonna get some good stuff out of this, for real, bro.
I'm glad you have me on here. He been trying to get me for a while.
For a year.
I've been doing the most, but I think it's a good time.
Thank you for making it work, bro.
Thank
for
you,
real.
bro.
Honestly,
appreciate you coming on, man. My big brother forever.
Yeah. Everyone tuning in, make sure, check out Cozy, check out yesterday's news. We'll drop all your information in there, too.
Follow me on the gram, for sure. I need to get my count up.
Absolutely. Way too many goats at the table.
We're just going to make it pop up right now.
But now, we appreciate you, as always, each and every week. Like, subscribe, blow us up, comment, show us love. But yeah, that's it. Another week in the books. We love y'all.
Yo.
Peace. Hey, guys, thank you so much for checking out this week's episode of All Bass No Treble. If you could please subscribe and like, and also get the notification button smashed for us, that would mean the world to us. If you'd like to keep up with myself, my co-host, or our special guest this week, all of our social medias and info is right below. And if you would like to listen, tune into Apple Podcasts or Spotify, as you can hear us on there as well. Again, thank you so much for tuning in this week, and I will see you on the next episode.